morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is September 5th, 2024, that is, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in downtown Scarborough, Tobago. Name Anna Cumby, and it's always a pleasure to be coming to you and bringing you information about things happening in and around the Tobago, things that are of interest to you, to me, and to all of us who reside here or who have any sort of interest in Tobago. And we're always so happy when you choose us to make us part of your morning routine. Of course, it's a pleasure coming to you wherever you are viewing us from this morning, whether you are in Tobago, whether you are in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, the continent of Africa, with so many beautiful countries there. We appreciate you and we say thank you for always choosing us and, of course, positioning us to be your number one choice for morning show here on the island of Tobago. It's always a pleasure, and I want to say a special good morning to those of our viewers who are online on our Facebook live stream, our regular viewers who always bring in comments. We appreciate all of your comments. We appreciate the support that we get from you, and even sometimes when you give us, that little nod of advice, we appreciate all of it from you. We thank you so much. We couldn't be who we are without you, and so we say thank you so very much. This morning we have a show lined up for you, and we're so happy that you are here with us, and we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire program this morning as we bring the information to you and have the important discussions. But before we get into all of that, I just want to, I want to follow up to see how back to school is going with our students. So for the parents who are online, just drop in the chat and say, good morning, school is going good. We want to know what's happening with our school children here on the island of Tobago. So we do hope that we hear from you. All right. Well, this morning, our lineup is a little bit different. We're going to go straight into telling you who we're going to be having conversations with this morning, and you want to stick around for this. We're going to start off conversations by speaking with Mr. Kelvon Morris, the minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly and the area representative for Darrell Spring Wim. We'll be speaking about the Storebay renovation project. Yes, we'll also be speaking to him about EIDCOT projects as well. So you want to stick around for parts of those conversations. And we go to speak with Mr. Lincoln Stewart. You remember Mr. Lincoln Stewart being a boat owner and a fisherman. And he is one of those guys who went to Grenada when Hurricane Beryl passed and, the destruction that took place there. Of course, he received an award. So we're going to have conversations with him this morning in a congratulatory mode. So we say, we do hope that you can stay with us this morning. Miss Pearl Murray Beard, I see you just came on there, and I want to say a special morning to you. I really appreciate you this morning. All of our other viewers, Renee Manning, good morning to you. Otis Nixon, good morning to all of you who are viewing this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, September 5th, 2024. The Tobago October Carnival, a month away, Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Tasha Boris, announced that preparations are well underway, aiming to make this year's event larger and more successful than last year. She highlighted extensive marketing campaigns that have been launched in Trinidad, New York, Grenada, with Toronto next on the list. Boris is also exploring partnership with the National Carnival Commission to further boost promotion. She also highlighted the growing importance of the Carnival, noting its firm place on the island's calendar of events. Up next, political leader of the Innovative Democratic Alliance, Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus, is calling for a revisit of the Constitutional Reform Report. She argues that it doesn't reflect the will of the Tobago people, particularly regarding self-governance. Soyafat Angus expressed concerns over the report's portrayal of Tobago's autonomy quest and the removal of distinction between Trinidadians and Tobagonians. She also disagreed with the proposal to eliminate special majority vote in Parliament. The IDA is urging collaboration among political parties to address these issues and noted no Tobagonian should support the Constitutional Reform Report. And finally, Trinidad and Tobago has recorded its 12th dengue death for 2024, with the total number of confirmed cases remaining at 1,053. Former Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan emphasized that controlling dengue isn't solely the Ministry of Health's responsibility. Khan highlighted the need for individuals to clean their surroundings, pointing out that stagnant areas and derelict vehicles are breeding grounds for mosquitoes. He also noted challenges with the insect vector control unit, such as staffing and resource shortages, which affect dengue control efforts. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us. We're going to change things up a little bit this morning. We're going to head on straight into our first conversation this morning as we speak with Mr. Kelvin Morris. He is a minority leader and he's also the area representative for the Darrell Spring Wim area. This morning we start the conversation off speaking about the Storebay renovation project. Good morning, Mr. Morris, and welcome.
Good morning, Miss Combi. Let me say also special good morning to all of Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, and a special shout out to the Virgo princesses, princes, kings and queens. This is Virgo season.
Of course, you had to put that plug in there. But, we're going to head on straight into the conversation this morning. We're talking about a renovation project, which lends to the development of that particular area on the island of Tobago, specifically for tourism, the development of tourism on the island. And we saw recently on social media where there was a photo of projections for the development of the Storebay Beach facility. And of course, everybody who commented, they have their opinions, some for, some having questions, and some persons uncertain about what is happening. And I want to get your position on this because while we appreciate and we welcome development in any area of the island of Tobago, whether it's in tourism, agriculture, whatever it is, we welcome the development because it's a benefit for all of us here on the island of Tobago. However, there are situations that you have expressed some concerns about. And we want to talk about that a little bit this morning as we get into where you stand where this is concerned.
So, and of course, I quite agree with you. As a Tobagonian, we all should welcome any initiative that would advance, the infrastructural outlook of any facility in Tobago, whether it be tourism related, agriculture, wherever it may reside. However, what the challenge I am as a minority leader, and of course the challenge I am hearing from the stakeholders, is that they have a serious concern with the process and the approach. And here it is, you have a massive project of this nature that would affect all of Tobago and all Tobagonians because Storebay is one of our prized gems. And this project, persons only came to know of this project from a Facebook post. And therefore, it suggests that the project lacked the necessary consultation that is required in a situation like this. It also is done with a level of secrecy because up to this point, no one can tell us what would this project cost the people of Tobago, whether the Tobago House of Assembly indeed have the funding to undertake this project on its own. And if they don't have the funding, who is going to fund the project? What is in it for them? Is it a situation where it is a public-private partnership? What would the private partner, what are the expectations of the private partner? How are we going to select this private partner? Would it be some favored person of this administration, or would it be a transparent and open and fair process? So therefore, there are a number of questions and there are little answers, and this is what have us concerned.
Initially you mentioned in the beginning of your discourse, you mentioned the lack of consultation. But we're hearing that the Secretary of Tourism mentioned that there was consultation. There was a town hall meeting. The THA executive was there, along with members of the community of the Canaan Bonaccord area, tenants, and users of the Storebay Beach facility. She even said in an interview that a survey was done. I'm trying to find out what the users would require at the beach facility. She went on to say that the beach facility, of course, as we said, we welcome the development because it is necessary, for our tourism purposes. But now we're hearing persons saying, and even you this morning, that the consultation perhaps either was not done or it was not done intensely enough to involve as many persons as possible. So I'm not sure where we are where that is concerned.
Well, you are Tobagonian, Miss Comby, and I'll ask you, before now, in terms you said there was a survey. Did you see this survey? Is there any public portal where Tobagonians, all Tobagonians, because remember this project doesn't just affect persons residing around the Storebay area. This is, as I said, a gem. This is one of our prized species that is owned by every Tobagonian, and therefore we all must have a say. And this is one of the challenges that I think this administration does not recognize, that there's a difference between a meeting and having meaningful consultation. Consultation means not simply calling people to a space, because I recognize oftentimes this is what is put forward. But we kept a meeting. We had something at a center. It is the same thing with the Bloody Bay Blue Food facility. They said they called people to, I think, Palliative Bay Community Center or Bloody Bay Community Center, one of them. But when you're having such a fundamental change, what is required is active and continuous engagement. It means that every step of the way, you have to consult, you have to get people's opinion, people's feedback, and that it is a two-way kind of arrangement. It is not you coming to speak to us, to tell us, this is what we are going to do. Because when you look at the render, this conceptual drawing, and the question we all have to ask ourselves is, who told these people that we wanted those things there? Who told them that we wanted a beach club? Who told them that we wanted a swimming pool right next to a beach? Who told them that we wanted to change the entire outlook? Because it's different to do because I'm seeing the thing here is saying renovation. And what they are doing, they are not doing a renovation or an upgrade. They are actually doing a redevelopment, which is a complete transformation of the space. And therefore, if you're doing a complete transformation of the space, it requires the input of all the stakeholders. How many stakeholders had their input actually actively engaged and included in this arrangement? And in a real sense, the reason why there's so much pushback is because people felt like or feel like they have not had their say. They have not had their actual opinions addressed and their concerns. And this is why the project is creating such a stir in the space.
Mr. Morris, what would you say to the fact that the secretary also said that at the Great Race event last year, 2023, there was an actual physical survey taking place there where they spoke with persons at the event. Of course, they are there in the space, using the space, seeing the challenges there. And of course, they did the survey there with the persons who were on spot to identify what the challenges are and what are the things they wanted to see for the redevelopment project that they are now seeking to undertake.
So I challenge the secretary to produce the data that shows us that when they did the survey, which did not include you and me, who are all Tobagonians with an interest in that space, that we said we wanted a beach club for her fancy friends and her fancy investors to come and invest and push out our Tobago people like Mr. Nicholson and Miss Jean and all of them. Let her produce the evidence, produce the results of that survey that said we want a swimming pool, a splash pool that would take away from the persons coming to the beach to enjoy the beach. Let her produce the evidence.
The secretary also mentioned, and I can only go based on the conversations that are in the public space right now. She also mentioned that this is just a design from a concept gathered from the information based on the survey and the conversations that we had in the consultation, I suppose at the town hall meeting, and also the survey taken on the day of Great Race last year, August 2023. Preliminary designs, and of course they will still go back to it to make the necessary edits or changes that need to be made before the construction begins. How do you see that, and how do you see the opportunity now for the persons who were not involved in the initial consultation to have their input as to where we are now?
So I want to say to the secretary, I know she called us unwashed and illiterate, but Tobagonians are washed and we are literate and we are not fools. Because here it is again, you are coming to us, you said you had consultation. If you really had meaningful consultation, it means that when you came to us to speak to us, you would have showed us the data that said we surveyed 100 people and we asked them, what would you like to see in our upgraded Storebay beach facility? And 35% or 50% of the person said we want a beach club. 75% of the people said we want a swimming pool. And therefore, this conceptual drawing is indicative of what came out of the survey. Where is the evidence? And that is the problem. Where is the evidence that shows that the render or the conceptual drawing is indicative of what the people said they want? And I challenge her, because this is, if they're saying they are open and they are transparent, let us see the data. Let us see how many people said that they wanted a beach club. Let us see how many people said they wanted a swimming pool, because ultimately this facility belongs to the people of Tobago, not to the secretary, not to her investors and her fancy friends.
Mr. Morris, we can all agree that the development is welcomed, as we mentioned earlier. Now that we are at this stage, and we know it's going to happen at some point, what do you see as the way forward now? From today, how do we move forward to ensure we engage all the stakeholders, that we all have a say, that we all see what we want to see, that we can all benefit from this and attract more tourists to the island of Tobago, thereby improving the tourism product?
Well, they have to engage all of Tobago, because this development is important to all of us. And it, as I said, it's a redevelopment. So it's a transformation of the space. And therefore, if we are doing a fundamental transformation of that space, that includes even your tour operators, even your patrons who comes to the space, how much money they would now have to pay to enter the space, what would locals pay, what would this cost the assembly? Because this assembly is saying to us that at this point in time, they are challenged when it comes to cash flow. And therefore, we all have to ask ourselves, with all the million things that we have to do, can we afford this project in the way they are proposing? Or can we perhaps do something else that is a little more cost effective and beneficial? These are the questions, but we cannot make a decision in the absence of information. And therefore, we need to know how much will this project cost. Up to now, imagine you're giving us a drawing. You have a proposed drawing, but you don't have a cost estimate. That is like going and shoot in the wild, because we as the Tobagonians, who are the shareholders of this place and this project, imagine we do not even know how much this would cost us. And that is a slap in the face of every Tobagonian.
And, you know, as you mentioned, the cost of it, we're going to take a quick break there and come back, continuing the conversation as it relates to the development of a Storebay Beach facility and development across the island of Tobago as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Mr. Kelvon Morris, Minority Leader in the Tobago House of Assembly, and also the area representative for Spring Garden and WIM. We will be right back as we continue conversations this morning. We want you to stay with us as we continue having the important conversations that matter to me, you, and all of us who reside here in Tobago. In the meantime, help us to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me be a very hard fiesta. Fun, fiesta.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash. Broke where you have, where you know about.
It's too early for that.
Too early, good on. They do, but then enough 9-9. Girl, go the club, girl, right. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and I'm winding up on my man.
Dream.
Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and low, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and low. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Put a smile on.
Welcome back to the Morning Show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kumbi, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning with Mr. Kelvon Morrison. He is the minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly. Earlier I said Spring Garden, but it's Daryl Spring Whim, the correction there. And we continue conversations about the Storebay redevelopment project this morning. Welcome back, Mr. Morris.
Thank you. And yeah, Spring Garden is actually part of the district. So, we welcome all parts of the district being mentioned.
That's right. So we were talking about the redevelopment project. We started speaking about the consultation process and the other processes. Now we know all of these projects we use the public purse to fund them primarily. And so, of course, the processes have to be followed strictly, adhered to strictly to ensure accountability and transparency. In terms of all the projects that are taking place on the island of Tobago, the Storebay redevelopment project isn't the only one. There are other projects, other development projects. We can look at the A&R Robinson project as it were now. We see how far it has come. And in terms of following the processes, what is your position where that is concerned in the way we approach our projects generally across the board? And I'm not just talking about, I don't want to talk about the political part of it. I want to talk about the actual adhering to the processes. Have you seen that in the public space with public officers as they undertake projects on the island of Tobago using the public purse, the taxes that I pay, the taxes that you pay to do these development projects, which we welcome? Have you seen an adherence to the processes and the accountability and transparency to the persons of Tobago?
Well, the thing about it, what we can do is do the compare and contrast. And the projects that have been successful are the ones that would have followed the process. And the ones that seem to be challenged are the ones that doesn't. For example, you have the airport project, and we know we had initial concerns about relocation of persons, and that process, the law was followed, and we see how people have resettled. And the airport project is coming along beautifully, a magnificent infrastructure, one of the best airports, I believe, when it's completed in the entire Caribbean. And then you had the road at Storebay, which is also contrastingly part of what will complement the airport project. And that road, in some parts, is stalled because persons chose not to follow the process. So the examples are clear. When you follow the process, you get successful outcomes. When you don't follow the process, it leads to chaos and confusion, and therefore there are a number of projects, especially those being done by the Tobago House of Assembly, which is challenged because persons just don't want to follow the law. And as we speak about the law, just recently, I raised an issue and brought it to the attention of all Tobagonians, which we all take, and as you said, should take away our political hats and biases and really look at it objectively. As you know, the Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago, EIDCOT, which we are all stakeholders because it is a company owned by the Tobago House of Assembly, spending Tobago House of Assembly's monies that belongs to us. And also we, the people, through the Executive Council, would have appointed the board. Yet this company who is doing and managing most of our projects, spending millions and millions of our monies, is saying to us, the people of Tobago, that you cannot, through a freedom of information, ask or find out from us how we are spending that money. And that if that is not the biggest slap in the face, if that isn't outrageous, preposterous, and almost, it is just downright wrong. I don't know who in Tobago could objectively agree with EIDCOT that they should not be answering questions that we as Tobagonians have. And this is where the challenge lies, the lack of transparency and accountability.
And you preempted my next question because I was going to head on over to that company. As mentioned, it is the project management company here on the island of Tobago, and it is where all the procurement takes place. And in terms of, clearly you have identified your challenges there, but in terms of the distribution of projects to local Tobago contractors, because EIDCOT has the responsibility for that distribution as well, if I'm not mistaken. Have you seen that happening in a way that is fair and balanced across the board?
Well, we can't speak to it because we just don't know what's going on. And when you ask the question, they're saying to you that you don't have a right to know. Imagine that. You, the Tobagonian, they are taking your money. I want people to understand how ridiculous this isn't. They are spending your money. They are owned by you, but they are telling you that you cannot know who we give a contract to. You cannot know the process. We don't know if it's sole selected. We don't know if it's competitive. We don't know the cost. We don't know what was the evaluation report. They can just simply give out contracts and you absolutely dare say you don't have a right to know. This is ridiculous. This is crazy.
Mr. Morris,
And you have, and just to make a point, you have the senior technical advisor in the division of finance, that is where our monies come from, who also sits as the deputy chairman, saying they got legal advice on that matter that says that they don't have to answer to us. And he's comfortable with that advice to the point that he can boldfacedly come to us and tell us, well, that is the advice we have. And in the same breath, tell us, but you know, we are following the procurement law. So you're not subjected to the FY, but you are subjecting yourself to procurement. So one day you are fish, next day you are fowl. You are choosing which law to follow. When did we get so bold-faced with governance?
You know, Mr. Morris, it is very important for persons who are in public office and persons, especially when you control, have influence over the money, the spend of the country, that there must be accountability and there must be transparency. And now we're talking about we're in this position with EIDCOT, where, you know, of course, the information is not forthcoming. What is the way forward? Because we've realized in this Tobago space, there are certain things that we want to see change, but the approach in terms of how do we get the change? How do we get the people to be accountable? What is the process now legally and also as a people of Tobago? How do we move forward to ensure that we make the demands if we need to ensure that we know what is taking place? Because as you rightfully said, the spend really comes from me and from you and all of us who pay taxes here on the island of Tobago.
Well, my understanding with specific reference to this matter is that thankfully the concerned Tobagonian citizen, resident of Tobago, is intent on following this matter to its natural lawful conclusion, and therefore this matter will be taken to the judicial courts of Trinidad and Tobago via judicial review. So this matter will be adjudicated upon, and the question will be asked, is EIDCOT under the Act considered a public authority? And the court will have to make a ruling. And once that ruling is had, then for once and for all, we'll have a clear determination whether EIDCOT must, by law, respond to questions of any nature regarding its operations. Because even on a layman term, if a question is asked of you and the process that you followed can stand scrutiny, then why not simply tell us what are the outcomes? What do you have to hide? What are you doing down there that is so sinister that you just don't want people to know? What is it? It is amazing. I am quite astounded, you know. What is it that they are hiding down there?
I feel your frustration in this, and I do hope that, you know, we get the kind of clarity that we seek where this is concerned. But I want to ask you, I want to switch gears a little bit, staying in the same area, but switching a little. You know, when we talk about projects on the island of Tobago, development projects, whether it is tourism industry, agriculture, but we're talking about infrastructure. When you engage a contractor to embark on a construction project, how do you measure the success? Because, okay, they hand over the building, they hand over the space to you, and you move in. What period should you use to measure the success of this construction? Because sometimes we see where buildings are put up, and 2, 3, 6 months after, there are challenges. Do you know of any processes that take place after the handing over of projects in terms of following up to see the success rate? And if the contractor is called back to fix the issues, is there any type of movement in terms of are they going to be paid more to make those type of adjustments where necessary?
Well, usually, especially there are manuals that guide contracts, especially if you're following the FIDIC manual that tells you what you would get as a threshold in terms of upfront payment. It also has a provision for retention. I think usually it's about 10% retention. And what that does is allow for within a period, that period of post construction, you know, you will evaluate whether there are defects, and through whatever defects is required to be addressed, usually it is deducted from whatever is the retention. And the retention is that amount of the contract that is held by the party who would have requested the job. So that is one of the main things that you utilize to ensure that you can have what your defects liability treated with. Usually as well, there are clauses. If there are fundamental issues, structural issues, then the liability is with the contractor within that period. But if one of the challenges and one of the things we have to move to is really building out a serious preventative maintenance kind of regime, because usually we cost for the building, and once the building is constructed, we do not really put in a cost of what would it require to maintain the building and keep it to the standard and do the continuous kind of maintenance that would ensure that we have a building that would withstand the test of time. And so I think the focus we have to put is on the preventative maintenance side, as well as, of course, the project management side, which allows us to ensure we are getting value for money.
Absolutely. Mr. Morris, it's a pleasure speaking with you this morning. And of course, in closing, I want to give you an opportunity to say, your remarks to our viewers here on The Morning Show.
Well, I just want to thank everyone. I know we all will have, it's good to have this different views and diverse views, because we are a multifaceted society. But I always say, let us, even in disagreeing, let us disagree with a level of respect and a level of camaraderie. And I always look forward to the different views that would come out of every interview that I have and come out of every issue that we have in Tobago. But ultimately, let us all work towards putting Tobago first and ensuring that the resources we have in Tobago is utilized to the benefit of all of us as Tobagonians.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morris. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Mr. Kelvin Morris. He is the minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly, and he's also the area representative for Darrell Spring WIM. We've been speaking this morning about the Storebay Beach Facility redevelopment project, as well as EIDCOT projects. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning in studio. And as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
We party till we drop down there with a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and we're just about 7:48 a.m. So if you haven't yet dropped the children off and making your way to work, you might be a little bit late, but we still want you to be safe on our nation's roads this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with us even up until now, and we continue conversations this morning. We speak with Mr. Lincoln Stewart. He's known to many by MacGyver. He's a boat owner and a fisherman, and if you remember when Hurricane Beryl swept across the Caribbean islands, he was one of them who went into Carriacou to lend support over there, and he's in studio with us this morning, and we're going to have that conversation. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to Tobago, and by extension, all the viewers on Tobago Updates this morning.
That's right. And so, of course, it's a feel-good moment.
Yes.
To know that we are Caribbean islands, we are our brother's keeper, we are neighbors, and, you know, the incident took place there earlier in July, I think it was.
July the 1st.
July the 1st, and, you know, a selfless act. And I want to start talking about what is it that caused you to spring into action to say, listen, I need to do this. I want to do this. This is something that I have to do for our neighbors up the islands.
Well, first of all, it's not an I, to be quite honest. I mean, I might have been at the top of in leading the team, but this was a whole team effort. And where this would have sprung from would have been, well, I guess it's more like a kind of God-sent activity, because I would explain how it happened. Actually, I have some families in Palativier. One of them by the name of Ryan, especially Ryan Daniel, better known as Spin. He would have came up and said, boy, you know, this thing happened to the Caribbean people, you know. I wonder what we could do, boy. We could take them boats and go up the islands and whatever the case, you know. They're at Palativier, I'm at Roxborough. So the following day, I think they would have discussed that the Wednesday. The following day, one of my other cousin, he and I, we do boating together. So he came out and I said, boy, you know, I feel I want to do something for them people up the island, because, I mean, Carriacou is a place that a lot of people might not know. Carriacou is home to Tobago.
That's right.
Because we doing the trip, a lot of people thought it was dangerous, however, not knowing that it's something that we've been doing for years, using the pirogues to go across there to help them out with racing sailboats, or what we call bomb boats. Every August they would have their regatta, so they send for contingents of us to come across there to assist them in racing boats. So it's something we are accustomed in. So when he came out there now, I was telling him, he said, boy, we just sit down yesterday and we discussed that, so everything just came into play. And we just start right from there. The hurricane wave took place the Monday. And from the Thursday, we just put things together and we left this Saturday.
And how was it in terms of people coming together outside of the boaters who went, coming together and providing items for relief? How did that happen?
It was overwhelming, if that's the correct word to use. In terms of the short notice, like I tell you, this thing would have happened Monday. And we talking about organizing Thursday, and by Saturday we left and got 3 boats full on the first trip to go up the islands. You know what I'm saying? So the Tobago on a whole, this is where Curvin came into place. That's Harvest God, where we would have reached out to him, seen that he has this following and whatever the case is, and he was able to muster up as much as he could, and you know the support was there. The support was there. Tobago really came out and showed that they cared about what
and you know, this is something I love, and we're seeing videos here of you guys going across there, and this is what I love about the Tobago spaces, is that in as much as we have our differences, when there is any type of devastation, we come together as a people.
That's true.
Not just Tobago, but people in the Caribbean region, you find that we come together to lend support. And so, you know, it's a welcome initiative that took place. And it probably almost came like second nature. You know, it's something that you just think of, well, somebody's in trouble. I have the resources. And so let me go and do this. And so, you know, I want to say congratulations to you and your team. And now we're seeing where the Tobago House of Assembly has recognized you and given you an award for this act of bravery, this act of selflessness as you went across there. How did it feel to know that you were going to be awarded? And when you received the award, what was it like for you? What was in your mind? And what were you thinking and feeling at that point in time?
Well, to be quite honest, I was feeling like, I don't want to say undeserving or some ungrateful, but I was feeling like it is not me. I felt that this was something that I think the whole of Tobago should be awarded. My team, the team that I may have led, should be awarded. And I know that everyone could not have been called up to receive the award, so they would just pick, you know, maybe the 2, maybe at the top or whatever the case is. But it was a good feeling to see that actually that we took upon ourselves to do something in assisting our neighbors without any
incentives.
Without any incentive, and we would have been able to execute it, you know, twice actually, right? And it was a good feeling to see that at least, you know, the assembly will recognize us for what we did. And
so you received this award on behalf of yourself and your team.
And my team, yes.
Absolutely amazing stuff. And what have you been up to since then? You know, what are you and your team doing in terms of other relief programs, or just, you know, your daily operations?
Well, it's back to normal. Boating, I mean, right now is a sort of to be quite honest, a sort of a sad times the last couple of weeks, because one of the major vessels that we'd have used to take the stuff across there, one of the biggest boats, was stolen in Belgarden 2 weeks ago. So, you know, it's been a kind of tough time for us in terms of trying to get information as to where the boat is and this kind of thing. Nothing as so far we haven't received any information pertaining to the boat. So, you know, it's been kind of rough, but we've been here because we were even contemplating going back to Karakou to lend aid in terms of, right now they're in the process now where they're rebuilding, cleaning, getting the place back up to scratch, and we were thinking about making a trip across, you know, with some guys to help, you know, do some more physical work and this kind of thing. But then seeing the incident with the boat, that would have just threw off the whole setting. So, you
know, I do hope that you are able to recover the vessel, you know, and that you are able to make that trip, because I can feel the sincerity where you are concerned, and I'm sure your team is very sincere as well in trying to lend that type of help. Because can you imagine if it was us? We would want the help, we would want the support, and so I'm sure that that's the place it's coming from, just knowing what it is to not have, you know, and just giving to those who are in need. So I wish you all the very best as you continue doing what you're doing, and we're very proud of you here on the island of Tobago, and we hope that you are able to continue your good humanitarian works, and that your team, you don't feel demotivated, but you continue to find the motivation even in the midst of the challenges. Is there anything you want to say to your team while you're here on air?
Well, I just want to say congratulations again to all the hardworking people. I want to say congratulations to Tobago. It was very, 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 very helpful to see how Tobagonians could activate so fast, because I could remember on the second trip when the amount of support, because everybody, like I said, when the first one was planned, a lot of people didn't know, and because of that, now when we came back, we're not going again, and we put out the challenge and let them know that this was a very costly trip in terms of fuel for the boats to get across there. And everybody was like, oh, we didn't study that and whatever the case, and we set up a little drive asking for little donations or whatever kind to purchase gas, and that went off the, in terms of how people went to the gas station, paid for the gas, because we asked them to go pay and we just collect and whatever the case, and it was very, very good. I want to say congratulations to Tobago, Trinidad, even as part of the US, people in the US would have sent to assist in this venture. People from Trinidad would have sent to assist in this venture. And I just want to say thanks to everybody, and let us just keep on being our brother's keeper, because we never know. We have to keep praying that they're saying that God is at Trini, that God continues to be at Trini, because what would have happened to the sister islands if it had happened to us? All know we would have been in a mess, trust me.
That's right, absolutely, absolutely. So I continue to applaud the efforts, and as MacGyver said this morning, congratulations to all of us here in Tobago who came forward and put their hand to the spindle to ensure that our brothers next door were able to, recover to some measure. And as they continue with their works, let's see how best we can help them to get back there and, put hammer to the nail and get the work done over there in Grenada. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Speaking of Mr. Lincoln Stewart, known to us as MacGyver, who took his team over there to Carriacou in July when they experienced the effects of Hurricane Beryl. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're nearing the end of our program this morning, but if you were with us from the very beginning, you'd realize that we did not do something, but we saved it for the end. We are going to celebrate with all those who are celebrating. Yes, it's time when we say happy birthday to all of you who are celebrating a birthday today. And we start the birthday shout out with Maricia Edwards Thomas. She's on screen right now and celebrating a birthday today. And Maricia, we want to say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that as you enter this new chapter of your life, that the pages are beautifully written. So happy birthday to you. On screen, it's Amanda Davey. Amanda Davey is also celebrating a birthday today. And Amanda, we want to wish you the very, very best birthday today. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. On screen, the lovely, the gorgeous, the beautiful Joyce Moore Boris. If you know this lady at all, you'd know that she has a heart of gold. She is a loving person, very motherly. And I want to say special I love you to you, Joyce Moore Boris. I call her mom. And I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. I pray God's blessings upon your life. I pray that as you enter this new chapter, that you experience His grace, that you experience His favor, and that you are enveloped in His love. So happy birthday to you. And finally, Mrs. Valine Salino Canan, belated birthday. Actually, her birthday was yesterday. And we want to say happy belated birthday to you, Valina. We do hope that you continue to walk in the style and the funk that you are. We appreciate you so much, and we say happy birthday to you, Valine. And of course, all of you who are celebrating a birthday, even though we didn't have your photo today, we say happy birthday to you as well. And we remind you to put God first. Give God thanks for life. For no man can give life unto himself, save and except the Lord gives it unto them. And before we go in some good news, we want you to remember to support Akeem Stewart today. Yes, remember, he is over there in Paris for the Paris Paralympic Games. And he is on sometime just after lunchtime today. So we are sending out our prayers and support for him as he participates in the Discuss event today. So Akeem, all the very best to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have to end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. But we don't end our programming here. We head on over to GMT. So as we go over, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
dance infrastructure is being developed because we have another dream. We have a dream when Cove Industrial Estate will in fact be an industrial estate, and there will be the need to transport containers in and out of Cove. We build this dream because we see an increase in tourist arrivals at the new terminal, and we want to move them as quickly as possible out of Crown Point into the rest of the beauty that is Tobago.
And as you traverse along that road, on the interior, you will meet a roundabout that will be named after Dr. Jefferson Davidson. Dr. Davidson took over the helm from Mr. A.N.R. Robinson when he departed our shores in '86 to become Prime Minister of the country. He was also the first presiding officer of the modern Tobago House of Assembly. And then as you come to this direction, and Secretary James mentioned it, this roundabout here at Shervan will be named after James Bigat. What he did not tell you about James Bigat is that James Bigat is actually responsible for the education of hundreds, thousands of Tobagonians. The road we are standing on today will be appropriately named the Pamela Nicholson Avenue. But as fortunes will have it, the Pamela Nicholson Avenue will drive onto or intersect with a boulevard named after another Charlottevillian in the person of Dr. Winston Murray, the Dr. Winston Murray Boulevard. Coincidentally, both Dr. Murray and Miss Nicholson were members of Parliament for Tobago West.
It is with great humility and gratitude that I accept this token of your recognition of my life of service to Tobago. May we as a people continue to grow from strength to strength, always being blessed with visionary and selfless leadership as we position and promote Tobago as the gem of the Caribbean, cognizant of our positive contribution to the rest of the world. God bless Tobago, and may this project stand as a conduit for a buoyant tourist industry, one of the necessary pillars that will take our economy into world-class 21st century development.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago. In Tobago.
Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait
Tobago in October.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Beryl Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Beryl Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host Chanel Felix, and you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The Tobago October Carnival is just a month away. Secretary of Tourism, Culture and Antiquities Tashia Boris announced that preparations are underway, aiming to make this year's event larger and more successful than last year. She highlighted extensive marketing campaigns that have been launched in Trinidad, New York, Grenada, with Toronto next on the list. Boris is also exploring partnerships with the National Carnival Commission to further boost promotion. She also highlighted the growing importance of the carnival, noting its firm place on the island's calendar of events. Additionally, political leader of the Innovative Democratic Alliance, Dr. Denise Soyafat Angus, is calling for a revisitation of the constitutional reform report. She argues that it does not reflect the will of the Tobago people, particularly regarding self-governance. Dr. Soyafat Angus expressed concerns over the report's portrayal of Tobago's autonomy quest and the removal of distinctions between Trinidadians and Tobagonians. She also disagrees with the proposal to eliminate the special majority vote in Parliament. The IDA is urging collaboration among political parties to address these issues and noted no Tobagonians should support the constitutional reform report. And finally, Trinidad and Tobago has recorded its 12th dengue death for 2024, with the total number of confirmed cases remaining 1,053. Former Health Minister Ford Khan emphasized that controlling dengue isn't solely for the Ministry of Health. He highlighted the need for individuals to clean their surroundings, pointing out that stagnant areas and derelict vehicles are breeding grounds for mosquitoes. He also noted challenges within the insect vector control unit, such as staffing, resource shortages, which affect dengue control efforts. And that was our news in 90 seconds. We're going to take a break right here, and we're going to be back with lots more conversation right after this. See you soon.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Now, this morning we are talking a bit about education. Now, it seems that school repairs has plagued Trinidad and Tobago for a long time, both on a national and even a local level here in Tobago. On a national level, we heard just a few days ago the Minister for Education, Dr. Nian Gaspridoli, saying that there simply isn't enough money to repair all schools, and during the summer vacation they had to prioritize which schools they could fix, leaving a number of schools out in the cold. In Tobago, we have had our own issues here, and this morning, as we talk about what that return to school has looked like, I have the privilege of sitting in studio with the Tutor Tobago President, Mr. Braden Roberts. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, it's Tobago officer. We have one president in our association.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Tobago officer. Well, as I indicated, it seems as though school repairs continue to be a national issue. Every year when it's time for school to be reopened, you hear some schools complaining about not being ready to fully reopen. As I indicated in my preamble, there was extensive conversations happening at the ministerial level with the Minister for Education indicating that resources are simply just enough. And if we're having these resource challenges at a national level, we can only imagine what is happening at the level of the THA. So from your perspective, at the tutor level, how was this back to school reopening from your standpoint?
Right, so I'm grateful from the angle in which you started the conversation, in that the resources is not that we wake up July, August and realize we didn't have enough funds. So by the time the financial year begins, you should start getting an insight as to what kind of feedback we got from the last repair program, what kind of budget we really need for the upcoming July, August. So you have from September all the way to the next July, August. So the submission of lack of funds, it's not that it should be a surprise. So you need to know what to prioritize. We see things happening in both Trinidad and Tobago where we are wondering where the priority is. There are some unnecessary money being spent in various other spaces. And for me, education is the backbone. Education is the purpose of education is to provide fitting citizens for our country. And it then says that the society is a reflection of our education system. And we have in the rise in crime, we have in the high levels of the corruption and all these things which does not reflect well on education. So to say that September morning we didn't have money is unacceptable. We need, I know that the THA been advocating for funds and we've been having the dialogue with central government offering and so on, but when you're in power, when you're in the position, your duty is to find a way. And I would just want to comment on the highly irresponsible statement of the minister. It is what it is never a statement just come out of a leader's mouth. For me, I would use that for me positively. So when I have this overwhelming and it's exhausting and the teachers coming down on their union for not representing and so on, I understand that's my job. It is what it is, applies there. But you don't tell the people you're providing a service to, it is what it is. That is highly unacceptable. So I know that the resource issues have been that submission for several years, but when you're in the leadership position, you need to know how you prioritize and how you prepare, and you have a budget that is done September. You have several months before July, August to put things in place, and that's not the excuse that we're going to be accepting.
Right, and as you indicated, the minister indeed did say that it is what it is and she can only do what she can do. She also indicated that it is not that they do not want to fix all the schools, but the resources just are not available. In quoting the figure, she indicated that for the financial year, they have a allocation of, or a budget of, I believe, $5 billion. Let me just get it five. Yes, she indicated they have she explained that of the $5 billion, $3 billion was spent in salaries, while $3 billion is what is requested from all of the schools in total for the school repairs. So there just isn't sufficient funds to go around for everyone. And as you indicated, it's not that when school closes is when they know, okay, next year we have that this is the amount of money that is usually needed. But that's an issue for them at the cabinet level to begin to reallocate funds from, as you say, some of the projects that are not as important to make sure that education is at the center of development, not just in Tobago, but on the national level, because what happens at the central government also sets the precedence for a lot of what we tend to experience here in Tobago, because it is reflected in what is allocated for the THA.
Right. So, but while I hear that, and I would agree to a point that is a significant issue. As I said before, when you're in leadership position is to find a solution. So we have submitted to the division, just as with the ministry. You see the Adopt a School program where you invite businesses to partner with schools. You would not be able to get businesses to just throw money at schools without understanding what the program of the school is, what particular project we're really working on to really enhance education. So if we have Scarborough Secondary School program being shown to businesses and see where these businesses can actually assist with the program of the school, you will likely get persons to invest in some of the things. So you know that the government would not be able to carry education on its own.
But I would think that you're a part of the management board for the Division of Education, because I believe that tomorrow at the Magdalena Grand Hotel, that's exactly what they're doing. The secretary was here just a few days ago indicating that they have a charity event tomorrow at Magdalena Grand Hotel where they would be making presentations, just as you suggested, to businesses on the type of projects and proposals that are needed, because as we can agree, the resources from a governmental level are just not enough. The private sector now has to step in and play a role in developing education. You know, from your perspective, do you really think that this is something that the business community would be willing to get on board with? And what are some of your ideas for that?
Well, my challenge with what is being said here is we're doing it back to front. We need to get the programs of the schools. I don't know what they're going to present to the business sector, but we need to get the programs of the schools. And I don't know that the programs of the schools will put together, because we need that same thing for another project that we're working on. I don't know that we assessed the offerings of our secondary schools or primary schools to then have something presented. So I don't know if it's an initial meeting just to engage them and give them an idea as to what we're going to come with in the future. But it has to be done in a systematic way, where the businesses will know the project of each school. So I don't know that those projects for schools were packaged, because we need it for something else and we don't have it there. And then we engage the business sector. So I'm grateful that there is the initial reaching out to the business sector, but it would need more than that, because we want action and we don't want meetings. And I go to the division pretty often, and I go to the division with my research. I go with my suggestion, my recommendation. I don't ever go there empty-handed to complain about stuff. But it has to be more than meetings. You know, we have to get the action going. So yes, I appreciate that if there is that start, but the background work that is needed, because as I said before, businesses will not just throw money at something. They need to understand what the project is, what the program is, and that's where you're going to get the buy.
Okay, right. And was Tobago satisfied with this year's school reopening?
Well, in terms of the satisfaction, I would say this time around, I am very grateful for the professional relationship that we were able to maintain with the secretary and, well, the division and tutor. Normally around this time when there's the banter in the media and so on, well, I would have made it clear, even to the secretary, it's not my intention to have a banter and we talk strain back and forth. We need to have things resolved. So the professional relationship with the secretary and I would have been maintained. I'm pleased with that. I have been visiting the schools. I will share the information with the secretary. I will see where there's the response. There'll be the report where persons would have come into the school afterwards to try and attend to some of the issues. So I am pleased with that. The furniture shortage, though, is a significant one, and I'm hoping that all efforts are in the background to have it achieved or attained to be distributed to the schools as quickly as is possible, because I have visited some of the schools, and I mean, there's some students standing up, there are some students sharing a chair, sharing a desk with someone else. We have to have the foresight, because some of the information was shared before. But as I say, once you have the professional relationship, there's hope for things to be resolved going forward. I mean, we are not as bad as it is in Trinidad, but I don't compare. We have a standard here that we need to continuously improve, and I have communicated that to the secretary. It's not that we as an association going to be comforted because some of the schools better off than the schools in Trinidad. There are some schools that we need to really have at a standard that is conducive to learning, and those information would have been shared with the secretary, who has been quite receptive to the feedback.
All right, excellent. And when it comes to the well-being of teachers this time around, what are you hearing? Because I heard the secretary during our conversation harp on the fact that the well-being of teachers happened to be a key focus moving forward for this year. She even extended her office to have one-on-one meetings with those teachers. So tell us, from those conversations that tutor has been having with the teachers in regards to their well-being, what is happening there?
Well, I've heard the offering of the secretary, and it's something that we would have to look at carefully. I know in the code of conduct, teachers are not to engage with politicians on their matters, as it can be seen as seeking favor. You go through the channel of your supervisor, the administrator, and so forth. However, if the secretary is extending her office, I trust that it will be done responsibly so as to not affect that aspect of the code of conduct. The issues are known, so I'm not certain if it is that tutor is not bringing the issue, so we need to have the office open to teachers to come. The issue of the increments and the gratuity, the same lack of funding is affecting that. So I don't know if the secretary wants to tell the teacher directly that they have no money. The other provisions, the condition of the schools, I would say, in terms of the furniture for teachers, some of the teachers buying their own stuff. Some of the teachers spending their own money with the resources for the school. So if you want to treat with the well-being of our teachers, make sure the primary schools get what they need to get on time, so that they don't have to be spending their own money to be buying stuff. The secondary schools, make sure the allocations are given to the schools on time, so that they have to spend their own money buying stuff. And all the outstanding funds that are owed to our teachers. That's the best way to say about the well-being, to pay them.
Excellent. And the projects for the schools that are going to be presented tomorrow, would you be there at the event to represent tutor?
I believe there may be another event that I may be invited to, but I can't recall seeing any invitation to that event tomorrow. I would have to double check, but I haven't seen. I know the secretary would have mentioned that they were going to have it at a meeting we had in the past, but I can't recall seeing an invitation to that event.
Okay.
I know sometimes they do things in phases, so I don't know.
Understood. Well, I hope that you are there for the presentation of the projects. As you indicated, you're very interested in ensuring that that is available. We want to thank you so much for coming in this morning and giving us a perspective from tutor on how this school reopening for 2024-2025 academic year has been. And I hope to see you at the event tomorrow, because I heard that tutor was invited.
I would have to double check. I can't recall seeing an invitation.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for being here. And, Tobago Updates always welcomes you. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawn.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information. Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point Security, we have an access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get up?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. We were just chatting with Braden Roberts, who is the tutor representative for Tobago. And this morning we continue our conversations by talking about all that's happening in regards to mega farming here on the island of Tobago. And this morning I have the privilege of sitting in studio with Mr. Keith George, who is the technical advisor for the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development. Good morning, Mr. George, and welcome to Tobago Updates.
Good morning, and thanks for inviting us.
No problem. Now, online, we have Dr. Paul Crooks, who is a veterinary officer at the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development. And this morning, we are talking about the Mega Farm Initiative and a small ruminant development project. Good morning and welcome to you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, Mr. George, first of all, tell us what the Mega Farm Initiative is and how Tobagonians can get involved with that, first of all.
Okay, well, the Mega Farming Initiative is aimed at expanding the local production of food on the island. And expansion is one part of the matrix. At the end of the day, we ought to both expand the production and reduce the price of food on the island. And so the call is out for persons to participate in the initiative. And probably before I go further, I probably should recognize the role of our secretary in the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, Ms. Natisha Charles Pantin, and our administrator, Mrs. Sherry-Ann Edwards-Louis. They are pretty much leading the charge in this regard, and they have embraced the concept for the development of the mega farming initiatives.
Right. And who are the persons who can get involved in this mega farming initiative?
Okay, well, I'll respond to that one. Two things. First of all, you can find the application form on the Division of Food Security's Facebook page. So please, if you are interested in mega farming, in any aspect of mega farming, visit our Facebook page, and there's a link to a Google form where you can enter all of your information. For persons who prefer to register in person, you can come down to the Millsheriff office, the division's office, or you can call 639-1966, extension 3551, or even email at tobagomegafarming@gmail.com to get onto us and follow up about how we can assist you, one. Two, about how you can play a part in mega farming projects. So basically, as Mr. George would have spoken to, we are looking at bumping up our food production on the island to hopefully achieve food security and food sovereignty on the island of Tobago, where we are really capable of feeding ourselves. If we bump up food production, we increase supply. Increased supply meets demand, exceeds demand. We are looking at prices dropping. So we are ultimately trying to reduce prices and make food something that is widely available for every individual. We want every individual to have access to safe, nutritious, affordable food. So that's the point of the Mega Farming Program. We have a small team of experts. The Mega Farming Development Program Committee is led by Mr. James Trotman, and then we have experts across the divide of livestock, crops, what have you. We are looking at building infrastructure. So to answer the question directly, we are primarily trying to work with persons who are already engaged in projects and may need or would like to partner with the division in executing those projects. We are looking at persons who are currently farming and producing to help them meet and exceed production targets. We are currently looking at entities that are looking to establish, or even individuals who are looking to establish an agriculture product or an agriculture production system. We will be doing value chain analysis, general selection of commodities, but we are looking at both livestock and crops. So basically, if you are engaged in agriculture or food production at any level, and you are interested in working together to try to achieve our target of increased food production on the island, and we're looking at a minimum of 100 acres of active food production. If you are interested in any way or linked in any way and you would like to collaborate, we are encouraging everyone to do it, because we must be able to partner with private individuals and as well as private entities, whether they be non-governmental organizations or even profit-making enterprises, to achieve our goals.
Right, and Mr. George, is it that this event is targeted specifically to farmers who are already registered and already established, or persons who would like to get into farming as well?
Well, it's a combination. It's a combination of offering. We have a particularly interest in our youth and women. And we have persons who are already engaged, as explained by Dr. Crooks, engaged in agriculture production, and we have processing as well, processing and marketing. So those persons will join the link wherever it is possible. But they need to open the conversation with the division through the contacts that Dr. Crooks would have provided.
All right, excellent. And tell us about what the program looks like. So when an individual registers for the Mega Farming Initiative, they are then being trained by the committee. Tell us about what that training looks like, Dr. Crooks.
Okay, well, it really depends on which aspects you're getting into. We are rolling out several different projects over the next year, over the next 2 years. So we will do analyze the forms that we receive, and we will do selection for people who are best suited to play roles in the different aspects of what it is we're trying to achieve. So ultimately, we are looking at persons who may be doing record keeping, persons who may be doing market analysis. So we are ultimately trying to work with everyone in this Mega Farming Initiative, regardless of what aspect they fall into.
Right, and let's say, for instance, there's a consultant who wants to reach out to the division to help farmers move from just having their produce to actually, having that business aspect of it, the marketing, the adequate packaging and stuff like that. How can they get involved to possibly offer workshops and provide services to these farmers?
Right, so it depends on the projects and the rollout. So once people apply for the Mega Farming in whatever aspect they apply, we will then select these persons to give the appropriate input when the time comes. So it depends on where the project is and what stage it's in. But we are looking at multiple projects across the island, even farmers who are currently in production, where we are looking at more efficient use of state lands, ensuring that there is accountability for the use of state lands. We are also looking at how can we assist farmers who are already producing. If you already have a space where you are doing livestock production, crop production, dairy production, how do we assist you to ensure that you can achieve and contribute to our food security and food sovereignty target? Whether that be a trainer, whether that be through training and education, but there are many, many aspects to mega farming. We are talking about establishment of standard operating procedures through the use of consultants. We are talking about education and training to ensure that targets are achieved and exceeded. We are talking about research and data collection, collaborations with the newly established Tobago Agricultural Research Institute, as well as universities in Trinidad, University of the West Indies, University of Trinidad and Tobago. So every aspect, it's a holistic plan where we look at every aspect of food security to ensure that for years to come, we will be able to have generations of farmers producing at a very high level and high standard.
All right, excellent. And Mr. George, what I really wanted to find out from you is, I mean, a lot of times these things are happening and farmers, not everyone is on social media. Not everyone is adept to the technology and has access to the information. So is there an effort to reach out to farmers who are already registered within the division to have them come on board and register as a part of the mega farming initiative, so that at least we have a sure crop of, let's say, at least
cohort
of persons who are already registered farmers?
Yes, we have that program exercise ongoing. We've had several consultations with the farming community. We do have a registration form that is out at the moment, specifically associated with this small ruminant project. And farmers can collect that form at any of our government stations, government agriculture stations. They complete the form and they can submit it to any of the stations, and it will get back to the coordinating committee. We have our extension officers who are in the field. Yes, we have to do some further briefing with them, and we have one person who is dedicated to meeting farmers at the moment, farmers and prospective farmers at the moment who are interested in coming on board with the mega farming project. And probably at this stage, I probably should interject, in terms of livestock, there are three critical economic products that we look at in livestock production. One is milk, the second one is meat, and of course the various types of meats from the different types of livestock. And the third one is eggs. Milk, meat, and eggs, regardless of the type of livestock that you're involved in. Those are the three economic products that we are looking at. And so we are encouraging those who want to participate to look, very specifically at which area they care to get involved in. We also have on the crop side, herbs and spices, the root crops, the fruits and that will provide our juices and so on, the vegetables that will provide our vegetable part of the diet. And so when persons are considering participating in the project, they look very specifically at where they have the competence or where they have the passion to engage, so that even at the planning stage we could stream persons appropriately. And Dr. Crooks did make mention of the question of research and the technology. Those are going to be critical parts of the rollout of the project, because we don't want to be generating mega data and it just sits on files and stuff like that. We will need to analyze the data as we go forward, so that we could inform the metamorphosis, if we want to call it that, of the initiative.
All right, excellent. And when we talk about the overall goal, as you said, it's to increase production and reduce costs. Is there an element of the mega farming project that has to do with, yes, there is the education campaign, because you said that it's also going to be a part of the Tobago Agricultural Institute, but there has been, a thrust towards, allowing young persons to see agriculture as being a viable pathway and a viable source of income and revenue generation. So is there an aspect of that mega farming project that encapsulates that education and engagement with youth?
Dr. Crooks?
Okay, so I'll take this one. So absolutely. In fact, if you look at the application form, you would see that we are saying, if you're 18 to 35, we kind of want to target you. We're speaking to you. Of course, we're not omitting anyone, but it depends on which project we're looking at. We may really want to focus on the youth. Here's the thing. We've recognized that there's been a decrease in food production and interest in agriculture across the board, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but across the world. There's still a perception that people who are farming are doing it because they have no other choice. The truth is that farming, it could be and is a very lucrative business when done well. And there are many persons who are trained and capable of doing agriculture, food production well. However, they need the support to get to the point where they can realize that. We're looking at economies of scale. Is it a profitable thing to raise 10 sheep in their backyard? Are you capable of giving these animals the nutrients that they need to achieve their genetic potential in that backyard? Do you have the appropriate medical care for those animals. And if you lack those basic aspects for the care of the animals in your backyard, those animals may not make you the revenue that they should make you. And then if it's only 10 animals, you're talking about buying 1 bag of feed a week, maybe 1 bag a month. But if you can buy 10 bags, you can negotiate with the supplier and say, listen, I would like to get a discount. I'm a regular purchaser. I'm buying in big numbers. The larger you do a production system, the cheaper it becomes to run that system, and therefore the more profitable it becomes. So part of our mega farming aim is to push people towards recognition of farming as a viable business. Then you're going to see generationally that children will take an interest because they see that, well, mom and dad have been able to build this nice house or buy these nice cars or send me to university to pursue this agriculture and not just law and medicine and business as traditionally was done, but really agri-business, agri-entrepreneurship. I mean, we even have projects, which again, we will speak to projects as they are rolled out. The Small Ruminant Development Program or Development Project is just one of them. But we even have projects that will include tourism as an aspect, and a very important aspect. So these are the kinds of things that we really want people to recognize, that agro-tourism, agro-entrepreneurship is not limited to just necessarily planting. And then in addition to that, there are so many ways now to make agriculture more efficient, that we make more efficient use of the land. We're talking things like vertical farming, hydroponics, that we end up using, in some cases, little to no soil and producing 10 times as much crops in a unit of space as we would have been able to produce via traditional means. So these are the kinds of technologies we hope to introduce.
Excellent. We're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this break. See you very soon.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Go in, you have to stop it, you have to stop it.
Welcome to my kitchen, guys.
You have to stop it every night.
That's it, that's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October. Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release. Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on. From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival. Down here in Tobago. Whether you're chipping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait Tobago in October.
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck. So me bring you very hard. Fiesta, fun, fiesta.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash, broke what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
Too early, good all.
They do, but then enough, nine. Girl, go to club, girl, right. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and a winding up on me man.
Dream.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. We have been chatting with Mr. Keith George, who is a technical advisor, as well as Dr. Paul Crooks, the veterinary officer at the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment, and Sustainable Development. Good morning and welcome back, guys. So we spoke extensively this morning about the mega farming initiative, but there's also the small ruminant development project that you guys have been working on. Mr. George, please tell us a bit about that project.
All right. Well, the Small Ruminant Development Project, and we are merging all these initiatives under the bigger umbrella of the Mega Farming Initiative, right? The Small Ruminant Project is aimed at purchasing from Tobago farmers 1,000 lambs between the ages of 2 to 4 months and 500 kids, same age range. We are going to manage those lambs at blending. The lambs will be managed at blending, sheep modification and research station. That's just in the area of THTI. And the kids will be managed at Government Stock Farm Hope. We will grow those kids out between 90 to 120 days. We'll work with them. And then they'll be ready to go to the next phase, physiological phase, in terms of some will go to breeding. Some will go back to the farmers, breeding within the project. Some will go back to farmers. Some will go to the market, because of course not every last animal in the 500 and the 1,000 will be suitable to go forward into the reproductive phase. The critical call for the project is associated with a steep decline in the reproductive herd and flocks on the island. We've seen significant decline. And of course that is associated with a number of other issues, one including indiscriminate sale of your reproductive animals by farmers, sometimes occasionally on the government stations. We see high levels of mortality. We have poor fertility, and fertility has to do with the getting of animals pregnant, and then low prolificacy. Among sheep and goat, we expect a prolificacy of 150%, or 1.5 lambs or kids per reproductive cycle, and we're seeing less than 150%. So that means that you have less offspring to return to the flock, to keep the flock where it is supposed to be.
All right. And Dr. Crooks, I want you to step in here a bit, because I'm just speculating here that when it comes to, taking, members of the herd from farmers, there must be some level of attachment to these animals. So how do we adjust or change the attitude towards farmers to have them be encouraged to give their animals to this type of development for the overall long-term sustainability of breeding on the island?
Okay, so there are a few answers there. One is we really need people to see the bigger picture. we had the option, and there's always the call from farmers to introduce new genetic stock on the island. Import some new goats, import some sheep, go to Guyana, go to Barbados, go to Jamaica, import sheep, go to Maryland in the US, import sheep. The truth is that those, the criteria to achieve that, one, it's very limiting. You talk about several steps, quarantine and so on, to get to that point. And all of those steps increase cost. Don't even talk about shipment of the animals. Don't even ask how many animals would arrive safe and healthy. But beyond that point, then these animals now have to be acclimatized to our environment, and they have to be quarantined on arrival. There's a lot of expense, there's a lot of time and effort that goes into that. And the truth is that we don't generally get the best genetic material anyway. People are not going to send us their prize animals. We also expect that many of our farmers here on the island of Tobago will not sell their best. They'll keep their best animals to themselves. But the reality is what we've been seeing, and the trend is that people sell animals to buy books for the new school year. So farmers would have just sold off batches of sheep and goats to achieve that target, the target of being able to send their kids to school with all of their books and so on. And of course, farmers also sell around the Christmas period to try to get monies to paint the house and that sort of thing. And the reality is that sort of mechanism is not really sustainable. We talk about, again, the smaller scale producer. That producer has to find food to feed these animals. Sometimes the dry season comes and farmers sell all their animals or most of their animals just because they can't afford to feed them. They can't find the feed. As part of the Small Ruminant Development Program, we are actually looking at ways to ensure that we have food, not just for the animals that we have purchased, but to be able to support the growth of the industry across the island. So the truth is that farmers are attached to their best animals. And we are not necessarily asking them for the best. We are asking them for the ones that they think they could afford to provide for us, whether they be purebred, crossbred, what have you. We are not saying no to any of them for this program. We would like to purchase all of them and give them the opportunity to grow in what we hope to be as close to ideal conditions as possible. Having grown these animals, we get to see them express their genetic potential and really show us what they can do. And then we can decide, where do they go from here? Do they go back into the breeding program, or do they actually go into the meat production aspect of things? And that's the plan. And over time, to hopefully to sustain and grow the industry.
All right. And Mr. George, is it that we or the division would be offering market rate for these animals, or a bit above market rate, to compete with buyers that often come up from Trinidad to buy these animals?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that the initiative is aimed at benefiting our farmers, right? And probably I should say as well here, the question of buying the animals from the farmers. Let's say that the project, $1 million was dedicated to the project. If we take some meaningful part of that $1 million and bring animals from Barbados or the US or Canada or Cuba, somewhere, it means that the Canadian farmer or the Bajan farmer or the Guyanese farmer will get a significant part of that $1 million. What we are saying is that Tobago farmers will get that initial cash return on the investment. The second thing is that farmers generally will sell finished animals that are ready for eating, so that even if the economics may a little bit be questionable, the fact is that they anticipate that probably I will get $1,000 on my rams when I sell them, $1,000 each. So that's for the finished animal. We are taking the animals at 2 months, 2 to 4 months, which means that there is technically a gap between when we're taking it at 2 months and when they are selling it at 4 months. And so we have looked reasonably at a price that would allow the farmer to close that gap. So there is no loss to the farmer by engaging in the project.
All right.
Right? And beyond that, at the finish line, when we are finished with the animals, farmers are going to get a further benefit because some of the animals will go back to the farming community. And of course, they will go back at highly discretionary prices to make sure that, we didn't produce an animal that the farmer cannot afford. Right, yep.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. George, as well as you, Dr. Crooks, for giving us your time this morning to explain that small ruminant farming development project, as well as the mega farming initiative. Guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning online, on YouTube, wheresoever you're watching. We want to thank you so much for liking, sharing, and commenting, and everything that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, thank you so much, and have a great day.
Start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.